So, welcome back. Now we are going to start with the MTP 1. Okay, this is mock test paper 1 for our September 26 attempt. In that, we are going to discuss first the MCQs, right? So, as you are aware, 30 marks is MCQ 30 and 70 marks is the descriptive part. So, starting with the first MCQ, okay, in that they have given the case scenario. As we already say or always say, you know that case scenario is a big case scenario. You saw? So directly we will go to the questions, then we will read that, right? So let's go to the question first. Okay, first question, you can read. While reviewing the annual reports and they publish the information of the company, for the previous 5 years, in order to study the reporting trends, disclosure consistency, movement in the financial indicators, team is primarily performing which type of audit procedures? And for this question, even without reading the case study, I think you can see the answer. Okay. If you want to read the case study, here the first question para. Okay. So auditor team is reviewing the annual report, previous 5 years, they are reviewing the published reports. So which procedures? Are they doing observation? Observations means what? Looking at the process. Inspection means examination of records and documents. Inquiry means seeking information from knowledgeable person. External confirmation means what? What is external confirmation? From the third party, you are obtaining evidence. So, which procedure they are doing it over here? So, here the answer is, see, it is inspection. How did you do it as inspection? They are verifying the annual report. Annual report is a record. Okay. Published information of the company. Published information is another record. So verifying of this annual report, published information is examining of the books and records. Hence the answer is B. B for inspection. Here you are not looking, here you are not inquiring the management or knowledgeable person, nor you are not asking third person. So answer is B. B, which is inspection. So this question is from which essay? Hello. Which essay? Which is essay 500. In 500, we learn wrapper, FAPper, risk assessment procedure, further audit procedure. To support that, there are 7 techniques of procedure: inquiry, inspection, observation, external confirmation, recalculation, reperformance, analytical. So, if Q1 is okay, can we go to Q2? Okay, next question. In relation to the foreign currency loan obtained by the company, auditors independently recalculated what? The year-end liability using the closing exchange rate applicable for the reporting date. The auditor was primarily seeking evidence regarding which assertion? See, he is checking about the arithmetical accuracy. Regarding recalculation, foreign currency, $1 is equal to this much. We are recalculating. So recalculating is to establish which assertion they are asking. Completeness. Completeness is to check whether anything is omitted. Whatever should have been presented are presented. That is completeness. Rights and obligation, whether it pertains to the company belonging to the entity. Valuation and allocation is the amount. Occurrence, whether it has taken place, pertaining. Here, recalculation means you are checking the amount. Amount means which is the correct answer. Yeah. So recalculation means it is valuation and allocation. So this particular question is with respect to assertion. You have assertion with respect to account balance. You have assertion with respect to class of transaction, and you have assertion with respect to disclosures. Chapter number 5, items in FS, and also in essay 500, we say about assertions. So I hope that was clear. Recalculation is amount. Amount means valuation. So the answer is C. Q3. The audit team directly communicated with the selected overseas customers seeking the confirmation of balances, transaction details, related receivables arising from the credit sales. In the context of identified significant risk area, such procedure is best classified as. Okay, tell me. See, if you go to the case scenario, which is this particular case scenario, this is relating to Q1, foreign exchange, exchange applied, this is relating to Q2. If you see this passage, Q3, substantial proportion of sales, high volume of sales to overseas customers, auditors consider there is a significant risk. Can you say significant risk, which is essay? Which essay says about significant risk? Risk of material misstatement, 315. Now, whenever there is a risk, you have to obtain evidence as a response, which is which essay? 330. In 330, they ask auditor to perform further audit procedure. In further audit procedure, you have test of controls, you have substantive audit procedures. In substantive audit procedure, you have test of details, you have substantive analytical procedures. Right? So risk is high in this case. So you have to obtain more evidence where you directly communicate with the customers. This is called as at which procedure you are directly communicating with the customers and you are obtaining evidence. It is external confirmation. Now, what procedure is this? Is it test of controls? Is it substantive procedure to obtain the audit evidence directly? Is it risk assessment procedures which is performed, or is it analytical procedure which is done as a trend analysis of receivables? Which is the correct answer? See, it is not A. You're not testing the controls. Okay. See, you're responding. So it is not RAP, it is FAP, further audit procedures. Here, are you doing analytical or are you performing further audit procedures as a direct evidence? Yeah, direct evidence. So answer is B. That's right. You're performing substantive procedures to obtain direct audit evidence. You know, in essay 330, we learn as a response to the assessed risk, auditor shall perform further audit procedure. In that, you will obtain evidence even through external confirmation to reduce risk to an acceptable low level. So that's it. First question is from essay 500. Second is regarding assertion chapter 5. Third is regarding essay 330. So if question 1 is clear, can we go to next question? Case scenario 2. Can you say case scenario 2? Okay, Ada, again, it's a very big case scenario, right? Watch out. It's a very big case scenario. Can we use that reverse technique itself? Come on. We'll go directly to the question and read back the relevant passage whenever needed. Don't forget the passage. Okay. With reference to the discussion held between engagement partner and the management before acceptance of engagement, before acceptance, whenever you hear the word before acceptance, two essays will come to your mind. Anyone? Two essays says before acceptance. One is essay 210. 210 talks about preconditions which you have to see before acceptance. Plus in essay 220, acceptance and continuation of the client relationship. You have to check the integrity, ethical requirements, significant matters. All those things you have to check. Those 4 matters you have to check before acceptance. So I was just revising. Okay, come back to the question. Which of the following statements made by the management would not constitute preconditions. Ada, can you say which essay? They are asking about preconditions, which is not a precondition. So which essay is the relevant one? It is essay 210, right? 210 talks about preconditions. Hello, how many preconditions are there? Let's revise now. Preconditions 2 plus 3 plus 3. Ma'am, what are you doing? I'm saying preconditions. First, you agree with the management regarding applicable financial reporting framework. Then you obtain agreement. In agreement, three things are there. What? They will provide you access. Then they will provide you additional info. Then unrestricted access to the, to the auditor. You remember all these conditions? Then in the agreement, they will say they will prepare FS, they will design control, and they will provide to the auditor. So just saying 2 plus 3 plus 3 conditions. Hello, do you remember these conditions? Now they wanted which is not a precondition. Out of this, which is not a precondition, that you have to say. Use the ruling out technique. Management represented that no fraud has occurred during the year. Therefore, extensive fraud-related procedure is not necessary. Management assured auditor unrestricted access to books records. Management acknowledged responsibility of preparation of FS. Management agreed that FS would be prepared using AFRF. See, these three are precondition. What? Unrestricted access is a precondition. They will prepare FS as per AFRF is a precondition. Then they use the proper FRF is also a precondition. However, in this 2 plus 3 plus 3, the preconditions, in that no such preconditions called as this one, no fraud has occurred. They won't give like that. So the answer is, which one? Answer is yes, 4. Fourth one is A option. See, they ask which is not a precondition. They ask which is not. Okay. Can we go to the next one? 5. So this is essay 210, chapter 11. Next one. During the audit of segment disclosures, the team compared segment allocations with the prior years, analyzed the unusual trends in segment profitability, verified elimination of inter-segment balances. In the context of audit assistance query regarding allocation, which of the following would not form part of auditor's duty regarding presentation and disclosure of segment info? So, which topic related? It is relating to essay 501. Audit evidence, specific consideration regarding selected item, 3 selected items: inventory, litigation and claim, segment reporting. In segment reporting, in essay 501, you are supposed to check the presentation and disclosure. Watch out, presentation and disclosure, auditor has to check regarding segment info. In that, there are certain points. You will understand the methods performed by management. You will perform analytical procedure. You will check what method they use, whether it is consistently applied. All those you will check. Plus, there is an accounting standard also. A17, right? You learn in your accounts. Okay. So they have asked which is not the procedure of auditor. Okay. So first, examining the consistency of segment disclosure with prior period. See, this is an analytical procedure where you check the current year segment with the prior period. Performing analytical on segment wise. Verifying the elimination of inter-segment revenues and balance. See, you learn in your consolidated financial, whenever there are intra-group transaction, A company, B company, segment-wise, intra-group transaction, one company purchased, another company sold. Whenever you present that, you eliminate the intra-group transaction, ensuring that every item of revenue and asset liability in FS are compulsorily allocated without exception. Allocation you have to check. Now, can you reply which will not form part of duty? See, rule out. This you have to check whether it is consistent with the prior period. Analytical also you have to check. C or D, which is the most inappropriate. This you have to check as per your FRF, accounting standard. Now, D is the wrong option. Wrong means which will not form. Why? See, they are giving every item. As an auditor, we give only reasonable assurance. For big companies, segment information is huge. So answer is not C, it is D. Ma'am, why C? As per your accounting standards, whenever there are intra-group transaction, one company purchased, another company sold, inter-segment transaction should be eliminated. Consolidated financials. See, as an auditor, we don't check each and every transaction. This you have to check as per your accounting standards. Okay. Okay, let's go to Q6. Where is Q6? Here. While verifying the that's one. Bank balances, the team physically inspected the original FD, fixed deposit receipts relating to the 50 lakhs in the balance sheet. In the context, the primary assertion being verified is, the second question assertion, which assertion they are checking? Is it occurrence? Whether it pertains to the entity? Is it cutoff? Cutoff means current year, segregated from the next year. Existent, whether it is actually there. Or accuracy. Accuracy is the amount. Which assertion they are saying? Yeah, answer is existence. See, you can identify the C option in two ways. One, fixed deposit is balance sheet caption. Balance sheet, you have the assertion. Account balance is balance sheet. Existence, rights and obligation, valuation and allocation, completeness. See, occurrence, accuracy is not a balance sheet caption. As per SA 500, even cut off. So only caption which is belonging to the balance sheet is existence. Now, if you go logically, they are checking what? Whether it is actually there, meaning it is existence. Anyway, the answer is C, which is existence. Wow, last question. Seventh one. Can we read? Okay. At the final review meeting, the audit assistant questions whether audit planning and overall review procedure constitute principles basis for forming opinion. Considering the procedure performed throughout, which of these statement is most appropriate? They are asking most appropriate. Most of the audit work performing opinion consists of establishing strategy and planning. See, we learned in SA 300, strategy establishes the scope direction of audit, planning is performed to conduct the audit in an effective manner. Most of the auditors' work in forming obtaining opinion consists of obtaining evidence and evaluating. In SA 500 and even in SA 200s we say. Most of the auditors' work in forming opinion is discussing and inquiring of management personnel. See, inquiring is one of the procedure as per SA 500. Okay. Most of the work in forming the opinion consists of review of the procedures performed immediately before issuance of report. Report issuance is SA 700, forming an opinion report, which is a correct option. See, most of the audit work, see, three phases: planning phase, performing, and completion. The major stage is performing. Okay, in performing 500 series, 500, 501, 505, 510, 520, 530, 550, 560, 570, 580. So 540 I didn't say deliberately because it's not there in syllabus as such. Okay. Now, in most of the auditors' work, come on guys, consists of what? Obtaining of. Array, come on, what? What do you do? In audit, we always obtain evidence and you have to evaluate now. So the most appropriate answer, see, it is not, do you mean to say most of the work is only hello, 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 asking management? No. See, planning is first process, then performing and completion is next to two phase. You will revise, of course. So the best option is B. Most of auditors' work comprises of obtaining evidence and evaluating the evidence obtained. You hear in essay 500, auditor shall obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence and he shall evaluate. Are you clear? So the answer is yeah, B. Did you notice something? We didn't even read that passage, guys. But always don't do that for the exam. Don't take risks. In case there is something which is relevant, like it may be a date, it may be some amount which is given, please read back the passage. Just glance through. Hello. Where is it? Case study 3. Third case scenario. 1/2. Come on, guys. Life is a race. Run. Okay. Directly go to the question. Considering the facts given in the case. So we have to read the case regarding relationship between outstanding balance in CC and drawing power determined. How the auditor should evaluate status of account. Now, which chapter, when you heard about this, which chapter came to your mind, guys? Bank audit, right? Bank. Audit of bank. Chapter 10. So, where is it? Can you read? CC. So there is a limit of 10 crore. So what is 10 crore? 10 crore is the sanction limit. Okay, I'll write here. Sanctioned limit at 10 crore. SL is sanction limit. Then based on sanction limit, based on the stock and debtors, you will calculate. Bank will calculate based on stock and debtors, receivables, drawing power. The branch observed that branch computed drawing power of 8.2 crore. Stock statement was submitted. The outstanding balance as on 31st was 8.6 crore. Further, on examination, it was revealed that outstanding balance was continuously above drawing for more than 90 days. So which concept they are testing? There is something called as aha. What is out of order? Can you revise out of order? How many cases it will be out of order, da? 3 cases. 1, if the outstanding balance exceed sanction limit or drawing power. Second case, no credits at all for 90 days as on 31st March. Then credit is there, not even sufficient to meet the interest debited. Either and or are these 3 cases, or Either of these three cases, it will be deemed as out of order. And without even seeing the answer, can you say performing a out of order, outstanding balance? See? Yeah. It is out of order. Why it is out of order? Because, see, our outstanding amount exceeds the drawing power. It should not exceed sanction limit or drawing power. Both should be complied. Account is regular. Account should be treated as out of order since it exceeds the drawing power. Account is regular, cannot be evaluated. So clearly the answer is B, right? Account is out of order. Bank Audit is an important chapter. Please don't skip that chapter. Mostly some MCQ might be there. Might. Now next one. Where are we? Ninth one. While evaluating the security position of CC, cash credit, on the reporting date, auditor noted that drawing power has been computed using the stock information that was not available on the reporting date, and the borrowing in the account were already close to the level determined on the basis of primary security. Considering these facts, which of the following conclusion will be appropriate? See, we learn in bank audit plus also in CARO. CARO clause 2 inventory. Okay, so cash credit drawing power is calculated based on what? Based on the stock statement and the data statement filed by the borrower. And at times bank will order stock audit. Stock audit when ordered if the fund amount exceeds 5 crore. If you read the case study, see, while reviewing the borrower's account, stock values appearing in the audited statement, stock reported, and the bank statement, there is a significant difference. So, there's a small difference in the statement submitted and the FS. Okay, so tell me which is the correct answer. The borrowing position may not be reliable since it is being evaluated on the basis of outdated information regarding primary security. Account should be treated as regular because sanction limit itself is not exceeded. Sanction is 10 crore, na? Drawing power computation can be accepted since borrower had submitted stock statement earlier. Auditor should rely only on the audited FS while calculating the security position. So it's a very general question. Can you say which is the most appropriate answer? See, bank calculates the drawing power, guys. Okay, they don't blindly rely on the statement submitted by the borrowers. Bank calculates based on their own estimates. If they have doubt, they will recalculate, etc. Here, there is some issue. Hey, mind you are the auditor of bank. Don't lose that flow. Okay, you are the auditor of bank. So you cannot blindly rely on the audited statements. You cannot blindly rely. Then why a bank auditor? If sanction limit is okay, you cannot simply say everything is okay. You have to see drawing power also. So A, C are most appropriate. You cannot accept simply based on some stock statement filed. There is some issue, there is some difference in the statement given by the borrower, right? So, answer is A. But I think from the bank point of view, there is a difference. There's a unreliability case. If you read the case study, you will understand. I showed you, right? So, you cannot simply rely and you cannot do. So, answer is A. Okay. Next one. 10th question, please. During the audit, the auditor noted that the position of inventory considered while determining the drawing power was stated to be lying at the third party warehouse, and also observed difference in the stock reported to the bank and appearing in the audited FS. See, think from this point. You are the auditor of a bank, borrower has the stock. This stock is lying with the third party. Hello, we have learned in essay 501, or also otherwise also in essay 500 and 505 you learn. Whenever it is with third party, without even seeing the answer, can you say, what will you do? If the stock is lying with a third party, you will obtain a dash. You will obtain a confirmation from the third party, right? That's the best option or best evidence source. So, considering the facts, which procedure is most appropriate to address the risk? Rely on the stock statement submitted, accept management representation. At a SA 580, management representation is not a substitute. It's only a corroborative evidence. Obtain confirmation from third party, restrict verification only to purchase. So once stock is lying with the third party, the best option is to obtain a confirmation from them. We learn in essay 501, we learn in 505 that independent evidence is most reliable evidence. Even 500 says based on source, internal and external. External is more reliable. So 10th one, the answer is C. Can we go to the next one? Yeah. The auditor accumulated the difference between the stock reported and the stock appeared in the audited FS and noted that aggregate of misstatement was approaching materiality level. Management, however, decided not to make any adjustments in FS. In the light of the facts, what the auditor should do primarily in evaluating the implications. Hello, any essay came to your mind while evaluating the implications? No, ma'am, no essay came to our mind. Come on, guys, which essay came to your mind? I won't proceed unless you say, hello, why you should have all the fun? There is a sentence, auditor shall consider the implications of aggregate of misstatements or individually the misstatements, whether it approaches the materiality. Evaluation, which essay? 450. 320 is materiality, that's also there, but I'm saying about evaluation. So 450. So there is a misstatement, right? In our books is different. The statement submitted is different. So there is a misstatement. Whenever there is a misstatement, you have to evaluate whether individually or in aggregate it approaches materiality. Essay 450. Now conclude that FS are misstated without evaluation. Evaluate uncorrected misstatement individually or in aggregate. Consider its implications. Accepts management explanation. Ignore. Which is the correct option? See, you have to further evaluate, so it's not A. You cannot accept management explanation. You can ignore if it is clearly trivial. It's not trivial. Trivial means smaller magnitude. They did not say it's a trivial. So you have to say individually or in aggregate also you have to check. So the answer is B. This sentence only I said, evaluate whether uncorrected misstatement individually or in aggregate is material. If so, evaluates its implication. So that's something related to essay 450 evaluation. Now, last question, I guess, in the case study. During the discussion of the above matters with the branch manager of the bank, they suggested that auditor should avoid reporting the irregularity so that borrower's banking relationship is not affected. Considering the situation described, which ethical principles should be primarily guide auditor's response? 5 fundamental principles: integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, professional behavior, professional competence. Integrity means false report. Objectivity means you're compromising conflict of interest. Confidentiality means disclosure of information. Behavior means you're not complying with law or bringing discredit to the profession. Professional competence means you're not exercising skill. The bank manager is saying, ma'am, sir, please don't report, okay? We'll have a good relationship. If you are complying with that, you will override. You are giving a false information and you are having a conflict of interest. So, which you are violating. So, which is the correct option? Not confidentiality. You're not disclosing any information to the public. It's not law. Here you are not lacking skill. Here you are giving a false information. Giving a false information is integrity. You are lacking your objectivity, meaning you are biased. So the answer is A. See, there is no question of lack of competence. You are giving a false report. False report means integrity. You are compromising on your objectivity, meaning you are giving false report by biased. So answer is A. So that's it, guys. Case scenario. We have 3 individual MCQs. Always it's like that. Yeah. Can we go to question number 13? No rush, guys. Come on, quickly. 3 more individual question. Can we proceed? Okay. Next. BCD Limited is engaged in manufacturing the electric components. During the audit of financials for the year 31st March, auditors assess the risk of material misstatement at assertion level for revenue and inventory. While designing the further procedures, auditor considers whether it is necessary to perform TOD, substantive, or combination of both. See, already we have learned, we recapped. In SA 315, you perform risk assessment procedure to assess risk. In 330, you perform further audit procedure as a response to risk. In that, you perform TOC and SAP. SAP means substantive audit procedure. In SAP, you perform test of details and substantive analytical procedure. You can do combination also. The auditor noted that reliable industry data are available. Relationship of sales volume and revenue are historically predictable. Analytical can be done. However, certain unusual fluctuations were also observed. Accordingly, auditor exercised professional judgment while designing the substantive procedures to reduce the risk to an acceptable low level. Which of the following statement correctly explains the decision regarding substantive procedures? Substantive analytical must always be used instead of test of details if data is available. See, in SA 330, they say you can perform test of details, you can perform analytical, but combination of both is most responsive. Here they are saying instead of TOD, you cannot avoid test of details. The auditor decides whether to use test of details, whether to use substantive or combination based on his APJ. APJ, auditor's professional judgment. Their effectiveness in reducing the risk to an acceptable level. Substantive analytical can be used only when control risk is low. See, substantive can be used whenever you have prediction. If you can predict, you can do. Here they are able to predict. Where is predict? Test of details are mandatory for all account balance irrespective of judgment. Here they are saying don't use judgment. So which is the correct option out of the lot? Answer is auditor will use test of details or substantive analytical or combination of both based on the judgment. Ma'am, why others are wrong? I will say irrespective of auditor's judgment. No, you have to use the judgment. This only when control risk. No, that's also wrong. Instead of TOD is also wrong. So the answer is B. B for bat. Hello, second last question on MCQ. Come on. CDE Limited is engaged in manufacturing and turnover of 500 crore. During the audit, the auditor determined materiality and planning stage based on percentage of profit. See, materiality, essay 320. They say in essay 320, materiality can be based on any benchmark, percentage of profit, percentage of turnover, anything. During the course of audit, certain misstatements were individually identified immaterial but collectively approaching materiality. You call it as performance materiality. Further, management refused to correct some of these misstatements. At the completion stage, CAR evaluated the materiality considering the revised financial results, assess the impact of uncorrected misstatements before forming the audit opinion. Which of the following is as per 320? How cute. They said 320 in essay itself. Materiality is only in planning stage, cannot be revised. In the event of becoming aware of a fact that would have caused the auditor to fix different materiality, initially auditor shall revise. Ma'am, what are you doing? What are you saying? Revision of materiality. Materiality can be revised. Only individual materiality need to be considered. Individual and aggregate. Performance materiality has to be considered. Materiality is there in planning, performing, and evaluating the uncorrected misstatement. Once management refuses to correct, auditor must automatically issue qualified opinion as per 705. So you will see materiality, then only you will give. So the answer is C. It's there in planning, performing, and evaluation. So that's essay 320, chapter 3. Okay. Wow, last question. A Limited engaged in manufacturing operations and significant work in progress WIP inventory at the year end. During the audit, the auditor evaluates the measurement of stages of production, basis of estimates, inclusion of cost elements, allocation of overheads, treatment of abnormal wastage. All these they have given. Which of the following observation indicates inappropriate valuation of work in progress? Array guys, which one? Valuation. Question they have asked about valuation. Question endha choicha valuation. Valuation is your AS2. While you are valuing the inventory, certain amounts should be included in the cost of inventory, certain should not be included. That you know better than me, so directly say the answer. Various stages of production, value additions are measured, estimates made, the basis of estimates understood. Overhead included based on method consistent with costing financial data. Auditor has ascertained what costs to be included in WIP. Material costs will include abnormal wastage. See, they want inappropriate, meaning incorrect they want. Which is incorrect, guys? We learn in AS2 regarding the abnormal that won't be included in the material cost. So answer is B. Why abnormal? So that's purely based on your accounts, Uda. Accounts. Always you can expect one question from your accounts. Where do you study this? Items in FS chapter 5. Always you can expect one question from accounts or law. Okay. So that's it. MCQ. Yes. Now let's proceed to the descriptive part. Okay, as you know, descriptive part is 70 marks. And you know, here you have to think which part the question is from. You have to think how to present. You have to use the keyword. Be careful. So, as I always do, instead of just showing you the answers, okay, so I will revise that particular topic which is asked in the question. Then I will say how to present, how to start, how to think about the question, and how to conclude. So let's revise in the class itself. Okay. So let's start with the first question in the descriptive part. First question, okay, which is a compulsory question. A. ABC Retail and Logistics Limited has established several internal controls to safeguard its assets, ensure the reliable financial reporting. Cash and checkbooks are required to be kept in a safe and restricted to the authorized personnel. The company has installed fire extinguishers, smoke detectors in warehouse to protect the inventories from hazards. In addition, an impressed petty cash system has been introduced, okay, under which only expenditure below 10,000 can be paid through the petty cash. During the audit, the auditor observed that safe containing the cash and checkbook has been often left unlocked during the hours. Some fire extinguishers have expired. Several smoke detectors were non-functional. Petty cash vouchers exceeding 10,000 were processed through Impress system without approval. So when you read this particular passage, you come to know that the company's internal control is deficient, or there is a deficiency in internal control. Okay. Now the engagement partner remarked that although the entity has established the appropriate control, there is a possibility that the controls were not operating effectively. So they themselves say control is not operating effectively. Now what? Explain the concept of control risk with examples. Also, comment on the situation identified by the auditor in the above case. So whenever you read the question, you understood, okay, this question is with respect to control risk. So you have to explain what is control risk. Then second, you have to give the example. Third, you have to comment how the control risk in this particular situation, I mean in this particular case study. Okay. So guys, as you already know, whenever the question comes from risk assessment, identifying risk, then 315. If it is talking about inherent risk, control risk, detection risk, it is essay 200 actually. Okay. So let's start with the answers. You know, risk has three components: IR, CR, DR, inherent risk, control risk, and detection risk. Here they have asked you to explain only control risk. So let's start. How will you present? So put a heading. Heading is only for the presentation purpose. So put a heading control risk. Okay, so they have asked you the concept of control risk. So first explain the concept. How will you start? Think about the presentation format like you're writing for the examination. So as per essay 200 or in accordance with essay 200. Okay, audit risk comprises of, that's just an intro sentence: inherent risk, control risk, and detection risk. No need to elaborate. Now you elaborate only about what risk, control risk as asked. So what? Control risk is a risk that, okay, misstatement would occur in overall FS or assertion in account balance, class of transaction disclosure, which may not be detected because there is a deficiency in internal control. Meaning, I'll say the exact sentence: Control risk is the risk that misstatement may occur in FS or assertion level of account balance, class of transaction, or disclosure, which will not be, okay, which will not be detected, prevented, or corrected by internal controls on a timely basis. That is, control risk is the risk that internal control is not effective to stop from the fraud or errors happening. That is, material misstatement individually or in aggregate. Okay. So one more sentence you can add. There is a what relationship? Inverse relationship between what and what? Relationship between internal control and control risk. What? If controls are more better, control risk will be less. So this you can write it as the first para. To what they have asked about the control risk. Now, second, they have asked you to quote some examples of control risk. So, examples, that will be the second part. Okay, I'll write here. So, the examples of control risk would include, examples of control risk would include. Okay, you can get it from the question itself. See, cash, petty cash, okay? There should be proper authorization. Lack of authorization, first example. Then second example, the fire extinguishers. The fire extinguishers has expired. Smoke detectors, non-functional. That can be the second example. Third, with respect to the cash and checkbook left unlocked, then you have to add all these may result in what? Material misstatement in financial statements. So that should be the second part of the answer, which is the examples. Okay, you wrote about the examples of the control risk. Now wait. Now you have to comment with respect to the situation identified, which you have already commented in the example, but still, in the given case, where here, third para, in the given case. Okay, the auditor observed that, what? Auditor observed that internal control designed by entity is not effective, hence control risk is high. This has to be considered. This control risk has to be considered in designing nature, timing, and extent of further audit procedures. So that part you have to write. In the given case, auditor identifies that internal control is not effective, that is, control risk is high. This has to be considered in designing nature, timing, and extent of further audit procedures. So guys, instead of showing the answer, I've discussed how to present the answer for the examination, para-wise, what should be written, etc. Okay, so like this, you have to write it in 3 para. Okay, so let's proceed to the next question. Okay. Yeah. First question, second part, B. This is A, this is B. Whenever a big question comes, you can read in the last sentence also. So let's read. In the light of essay 200, they have given essay number, overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards, explain the objectives of audit in audit of financial statements. Now, without even reading the above questions you can say, because they're just asking us to explain the objective of auditing, but just glance through. RS associate chartered accountants were appointed as the statutory auditors. They were engaged in manufacturing pharmaceutical products. During the audit of FS, the team identified certain issues in valuation of inventory, export of revenue, unusual payments. The management represented that financials are prepared as per AFRF. The partner instructed the team to conduct the procedures in accordance with essays, obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence. The team discussed whether the objective of auditor is to provide complete guarantee regarding accuracy of FS or to obtain only reasonable assurance. Further, the assistants required merely to verify the books or to communicate through formal report. So, Ada, this is just about the objectives of auditing, which is chapter number 1. In fact, this particular question is from chapter 3 regarding control risk. This particular question is from chapter 1 regarding the objective of auditing, right? So, come on, how to present, how to write. I'll write here. See, it's a very simple concept, so I'll just guide you how to present. You know the answer very well. So put a heading. Objectives of audit. Okay. Yeah. Now, as per essay 200, overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards, the objective of auditor is to, first para or first point, is to provide reasonable assurance that financial statements are free of material misstatement either due to fraud or error, that is, whether financials are prepared in all material respects as per AFRF. Second, auditor has to report and communicate. Auditor has to report and communicate the findings in accordance with essays. Hence, auditor has to provide only a reasonable assurance. Reasonable means it is a high level of assurance, but not absolute assurance or not guarantee. That you have to write it in full sentence. Okay. Now, misstatements. Misstatement can occur due to what? Fraud or error. Auditor is checking only on test basis, meaning he cannot give a guarantee. He cannot give a guarantee, okay? He cannot give a guarantee that free of material misstatement, he will check only in totality. Okay, then opinion. Auditor's opinion should be communicated through a written report, through a formal written audit report. That is, whether FS are prepared in all material respects as per applicable financial reporting framework. That's it. But guys, no. For the exam, this you have to write it in the first part, and this should be the main answer. Now, as a concluding, here you have to see there are a lot of things. See, a complete guarantee. Okay, merely verify the books. So, if to say all these are wrong, we need not give complete guarantee, not to merely verify, etc. You have to say. So, in the next para, in the given situation, okay, which company? RS Associate, the auditors of Zine Biotech. RS and Associate, the auditors of Zine Biotech Limited. Okay, they found out. You have to write, okay? This part you have to write. They found out some issues regarding the revenue recognition, etc. Okay. Hence, auditor is required to perform what? Audit procedure as per standards on auditing to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, and to give written report of reasonable assurance of findings. So guys, this should be the second part of the answer in the given case, and hence in the findings you should clarify. Therefore, auditor should perform audit procedure to obtain evidence, written report and findings with reasonable assurance. Now, in the tension of the exam, mostly we will write this and we won't link this. It should be complete presentation. Okay, presentation is very important. For that, we have to sit and work out, guys. Workout questions. Yeah. Okay. Can I get a proceed to the next one? Yeah. Next one. C. Yes. In the context of above, explain purpose of applying analytical procedure. So this is from essay 520 analytical procedures, but they are not asking what is analytical procedure, what are the uses. No. In the context of above, so that we have to read what is the purpose of applying analytical procedure. So something related to chapter number 4, essay 520, purpose of analytical procedure. Let's discuss. RST and Associates Chartered Accountant were conducting the audit of Rose Limited for the financial year. During the audit, he compared various items in the P&L account for the current year with the prior period. He observed significant changes in profit margin, selling expenses, administrative expenses during the year compared to preceding. To obtain better understanding, the auditor computed various expense ratios compared with the corresponding ratios of the previous year. Certain unusual trends were noticed with respect to sales and profitability. Auditor therefore decided to investigate the reasons and to evaluate whether these differences were supported by valid reasons and whether there is any possibility of misstatement in FS. So you know, right? You do analytical procedure to find out whether there is any deviations. If there are deviation, you will investigate to see whether there is a possibility of misstatement. So yeah, your answer should be with respect to the purpose of analytical procedure. So without delay, let's start the presentation of answer. You can put a heading. Heading, you'll get it from the question. Purpose of analytical procedure. Right. Now, after that, how will you start? As per essay 520, write the name. Analytical procedures. What is the purpose? Analytical procedures use two words. What are the two words? Always I say they use comparison and they use relationship. What? To assess the data, to check if it is reasonable. If unreasonable, what auditor will do? You'll get it from the question. See, investigate. Yeah, if unreasonable, auditor shall investigate the results and perform other procedures. So this should be the first part. They have asked the purpose of applying analytical procedure in this context. So yeah. So in the given case, second part, in the given case, of Rose Limited, right? Rose Limited, ST Associate, ST and Associate CAs has performed following procedures. First, what they performed regarding the P&L account. They performed regarding the P&L account. Okay. Why they performed? The purpose. Okay. They performed various items in P&L account. They compared current year with previous year. You saw why they performed? To find out, okay, reasons for the decrease or increase in profits. So that's the purpose. Why do you check the P&L? To check whether increase or decrease in the profits. Now, in the second case, they saw various expense ratios. Okay. Next is regarding expense ratios. The expense ratios were compared. Okay, were computed and it was compared to check if the changes in the ratio was due to the sales. They say na, due to the changes were due to the sales growth and profitability, profits. Then, in case, okay, in case the difference, okay, is not acceptable, auditor shall conclude what? Conclude material misstatement. And lastly, auditor shall evaluate its implication. Shall evaluate its implication. So if there's a material misstatement, you have to give a modified report as per 705. Evaluate its implications. So that's the case. Hence, okay, just conclude. So this is the second part. This is the main part. Hence, okay, the auditors, what was the auditors? Yeah, ST Associate auditors, ST and Associates has performed analytical procedure to identify whether there is any misstatements possibility. If so, they would investigate, then perform other procedures and evaluates its implications on report. So that conclusion is needed, guys. So auditors has performed the analytical procedure to identify whether there is a possibility of misstatement. If so, they will investigate, perform other procedure and ascertain its implication on audit report. So that perfection of answering should be there in the given case, conclusion, linking to the question. Right. Wow. One full question is over. Come on. The compulsory question. Now let's proceed fastly to next question. Okay. What's the next question? Okay. Question number 2A. In the light of above facts, state the disclosure required where proceedings has been initiated against the company for Binami property. See, whenever question comes from Binami property, two things will come to your mind. One, CARO clause 1, PPE. Next, chapter number 5, disclosure regarding the Binami transactions. Okay. Here, they have asked a question regarding disclosure. Disclosure means it is chapter number 5, items in FS. Now, the question is very direct. You just have to state what are the disclosure requirements regarding the Binami. This is not CARO. So, RST and Associates, the chartered accountants were conducting the audit of GE infrastructure for the year. During the audit, auditor noticed proceedings were initiated against the company under Binami prohibitions. The property has been acquired several years earlier. Authorities were investigating the nature of ownership, identify the beneficiaries, role of the company in the transaction. auditor further observed that certain details relating to the property were not reflected in the accounts, and management were required to make appropriate disclosures. So here you have to directly state about the disclosure requirements. So let's start. It's a direct question. So yeah, I will write here. Okay. So put a heading, disclosure requirements. Okay. Regarding the Binami transactions. Where any proceedings has been initiated by the company under Binami Prohibition, that Act, no, Act 1988, the following disclosure has to be made. Okay, following are the disclosure requirements. So what are the disclosure requirements? First, details of property, including the year. Property including the year when they were acquired. Second, how much is the amount of the property which is held. Third, regarding the beneficiaries, for whom the beneficiaries in this case. Then reference, if it is disclosed in books, reference to books. If it is not in books, that fact should be stated. If it is in books, the reference. If not, you have to state that fact that it is not in books. Then whether there is any proceedings of the case, if so, the nature of proceedings. Okay, those points has to be disclosed. So that's the first para. In the second para, you have to write in the given case. In the case of what? GI. GI Infrastructure Limited, there is a disclosure requirement under the Companies Act. Okay, regarding the details, beneficiaries, etc. So that it will be transparent to the users. So that's it. So it's a very direct question, guys. So this is from chapter number 5 regarding the disclosure requirement. Wow. Next one. The auditor is required to verify correctness of drawing power computed for the CC, cash credit account, and determine the amount that would be actually drawn from the company. Compute drawing power available to ST Limited and comment thereof. Bank audit, guys, very important. So this question is from chapter number 10, Audit of Bank, the drawing power calculation. In class, we have done ample number of questions. So let's proceed. I think we'll do it along with the reading question. Let's not waste the time. So put a heading, drawing power calculation. Drawing power. First, what stock at realizable value you should take. Okay. Stock at realizable value. K, LM and Co. Charter accounts were appointed as the auditors. Auditors examined CC. Sanction limit was 45. As per the stock statement submitted, the company found out that realizable stock of 50,000. From that, you have to reduce what? The letter of creditor, creditors, damaged goods, etc. So here what? In this, 15,000 was sundry creditors. So less the creditors, 15,000. So 50,000 minus 15,000, which is 35,000. Okay, and bank stipulated margin. So less margin of 20%. So 35,000, 20 is it will come to 7,000 margin. 35,000, 20%. So balance 28,000. Similar question we have done earlier, I guess. Then after stock, you will take the debtors. Where total debtors. Total debtors is 45,000, of which 5,000 is ineligible, 50% is margin. Total debtors is 45. lesser ineligible debtors, which is 5,000. So balance 40,000. Margin. Yeah, margin is 50%. So 20,000. So balance 20. So add it. So you'll get 48,000. Then you got it. So this calculation you should show very well in the first part. The second part, in the given case. In the given case. Okay. In the given case, what has happened? Sanction limit is 45,000. The drawing power calculation comes to 48,000. The ST limited, right? The borrower ST limited shall withdraw up to drawing limit calculated or sanction limit, whichever is lower. Hence, it would be restricted to 45,000, whichever is lower. Sanction limit or this computation. That's easy, right? Next. See ya. In the light of above, explain considerations to be kept in mind while developing the audit program. So that's a direct question. What are the various considerations to be kept in mind while doing the audit program? So if you read through the question, VSN Limited Chartered Accountant were appointed. At the commencement, the engagement partner of previous audit file instructed the auditor initially intended to rely upon controls, purchases, etc. However, primary evaluation, he considered whether substantive procedure would be more effective. Team also discussed the matter relating to timing of audit procedures, availability, etc. Further, auditors specifically plan to attend the physical count at the year end. Company is also maintaining substantial cash expenses. While preparing the audit program, emphasize that program should clearly mention the objective, errors, etc. So, this is a direct question. Explain considerations to be kept in mind while developing an audit program. So, I'll show you the direct answer from my material. So, wait, how will you start? Okay. So, you can put a heading audit program. Okay. Then you can write audit program. What is audit program? You can write the detailed instructions given by the auditor to the team. Okay, it's a detailed audit plan so that assistants can perform the audit. Okay, regarding the audit program, you can write one full para. Okay, so this program is necessary so that they can take the necessary steps, all those. Then in the second part, considerations. Following are the considerations in framing audit program. Now you can write 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Stay within the scope and limitation of assignment. So whenever you construct an audit program, you have to stay within the scope and the limitation of the assignment. You should not go beyond that. Now, audit program should be always written program which should include all the procedures. Now, from this program, you should determine the evidence and the best evidence which is available. Now, apply only those steps which are useful in accomplishing the objectives. Unnecessary steps should not be performed. When you're formulating, you should include audit objective for each area as per the scope. Consider possibilities of errors, and finally, coordinate all the procedures to be applied. So these 7 points, okay, should be written. So that should be your second part. So it's a case study, na? So since it is a case study, just give a conclusion. Hence, in the given case, what's the auditor name? VSN Emma Energy. In the given case, VSN and associate, the auditor shall review and modify the audit program. Why am I writing this review the audit program? Because if you see, uh, they plan to attend, they have seen there are a lot of things happening. So audit program is not one time, it is subject to periodic revision. Okay. So review and modify the audit program based on the circumstances, based on the audit procedures, and based on the internal controls. Okay. And they should coordinate the procedures to be performed. So that should be the third paragraph. So even though the answer is only directly this point, but see, we should start entire audit program. You should conclude presentation. Done. Now let's proceed to the third question. So this particular question is from audit program, right? So this is from chapter number 2. Now next one. Wow, the question itself is so huge. Yeah, let's read the last part first. As the statutory auditor of Helping Hands charitable institution, explain the audit procedure with respect to the legal provisions governing the institution, governance and management, regarding the internal control over receipts and collection of income, subscription and donation. So when you read itself, you'll understand this question is from chapter number 9, different entities. Okay. This is from chapter number 9, different entities in that charitable. So I always advise the children, don't study with the common points, guys. You have to be specific to the question which has been asked. Okay. So they have asked regarding the constitution you have to write, regarding the governance, regarding the receipts of donations. So many points you'll get from the question. See, the auditor noticed the trust deed. Income was received from membership subscription, donations from the fundraising events, fees, receipts book was maintained, no register of unused books, amount collected through donation box, fundraising, donation were reported in the annual report, the institution expanded. See, from this itself, you'll get many points, da. Okay, let's start presenting. So put a heading, audit of charitable institution. In that, they have asked about these points, okay, regarding the constitution and governance, meaning there are a lot of general points there. So first to what? I'll just give the keywords. I'm not writing full. First, you will study the constitution under which charitable trust has been set up. Second point, you have to see whether the internal control is in place and operating effectively. Now, you have to verify the bylaws. Okay, you have to verify the bylaws such as trust deed, etc. Bylaws means the internal laws. Then you have to verify the trust deed and other regulations. Then whether the income has been deposited into the bank regularly. So you'll see the constitution, internal control, law affecting the trust deed, and also whether the income received is properly deposited into the bank. Now, regarding the receipts and collection, okay, regarding the receipts and collections. Okay. Now, first, there should be proper internal control over the receipts book. See, regarding the unused receipts book. Receipts book should be periodically it should be reviewed. They should take printed list of donations and agree with the total amount. Okay. So there should be a proper internal check regarding receipt of donations and expenses. Then regarding the donation collected from box collections flag days. They say, right, whether it has been properly reported in the annual report, amount should be reconciled. And they should also check the membership fee received. Ma'am, from where? All you will get from here, da. Hence, conclusion. Hence, auditor. Who's the auditor? Yeah, auditor of helping hand should ascertain the above and obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence that it is properly disclosed in FS. So the first part regarding the constitution, second part regarding the receipts, and finally conclusion. See, here you can write it in points like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. No need to write in para. Okay. The next question. Where is it here? Yes. Discuss the audit procedure that auditor should perform relating to the events occurring between the date of FS and the date of audit report as per SA 560 subsequent events. Wow, they have given even the SA number and the name now. So it is between the date of FS and the date of audit report, subsequent events. So let's quickly read the question. CA Arvind Kapoor is conducting the audit. The audit is substantially complete and about to sign. See, in SA 560, there are 3 timing: between FS and audit report, after audit is completed, before it is issued, after issued. Here it is first case, between FS and audit report date. During the period, they proposed date of audit report, certain events occurred, including settlement of major lawsuit, issue of debentures, destruction of company by one of the company's warehouses. While planning the completion stage, CA Arvind seeks to ensure that all events that may require adjustments or disclosure has been properly identified and considered. So here you have to explain the audit procedures. See, there are 5 procedures: inquiring the management, reading the minutes book, obtaining the written representation, understand what procedures management has done to identify the subsequent events. Those procedures you have to write. But how to go about? I'm here, let's present. So put a heading. What? Subsequent events. Now, as per SA 560, you can write objective of auditor. Auditor shall obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence whether the events occurring between the date of FS and date of audit report are properly identified, disclosed in FS as per AFRF. Okay, then this is the intro para. In the next para, auditor shall perform audit procedures to identify the subsequent events occurring between date of FS and date of audit report. Such procedures are as follows. 1. Inquiring the management and TCWG regarding the events which has been occurred, reading the minutes book up, then reading the latest interim financial statements, You know the latest interim financial. Interim financial you hear also in SRE review. Okay. Then obtain a written representation from the management that all the events has been properly disclosed. Written representation is as per SA 580. And also obtain understanding of how management has identified. So this should be the elaborate part. Second. Third part. In the given case, you can write and conclude. So in the given case, the auditor CA Kapoor, in the given case, CA what? Arvind Kapoor. CA Arvind Kapoor shall perform above procedures. Okay. To obtain understanding of those events between FS and audit report date. So that should be the last part. So this question is from chapter number 7, essay 560. Okay. Now see. No, life is a race. Run to the next question. Come on. C. Where is C? Here. In the light of above facts, explain risk associated with related party. State whether such transaction always involve high risk of material misstatement. Illustrate with examples circumstances when such risk may increase. Related party, right? Which is essay 550. Rarely we get questions in 550, guys. Okay. Let's read the case study. Come on. NRS Associate, the chartered accountants were conducting the audit of Perry Industries. During the audit identified several transactions. The management contended most of the transactions were undertaken in the ordinary course. However, auditor observed that there are large number of group entities. Certain transactions were not readily identifiable. The team discussed whether related party always involve high risk. So this question is basically with respect to essay 550. Okay, now you can put a heading. What? Related party, transaction and relationship. As per essay 550, related party, auditor shall obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence that related party are reasonable, properly disclosed, and assess risk with respect to related party. Now, many related party are normal in the course of business. Are normal in the course of business. Okay. However, it may carry what? High risk. First para. Now, why high risk? That you have to explain. Risk of related party transaction may be high due to relative party are wide and extensive, plus there is complex range. Second, information system may not identify all related party, or it is ineffective in identifying the related party. Third, most of the related party may not be in the normal course transaction. You know, when related party comes, discount, etc., may be not in the normal or usual course. Hence, auditor shall maintain professional skepticism. So we said, why high risk? Risk may be because of wide and extensive, in information system is ineffective, then may not be normal. So third para, in the given case. In the given case. So case study you see da, in the given case, NSS associates auditors of Perry Limited, they observed. This you have to write. This part. Therefore, or hence, they should maintain professional skepticism. No, you have to be skeptical and perform audit procedures accordingly. That's it. So this is from, this question is from chapter number 4, essay 550. Very rarely we get the questions, okay? So just go through the answers, guys. So as per essay 550, related party, many related party, auditor should obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence whether it is properly disclosed, reasonable, and assess the risk. Many related party are normal in the course of business. However, related party involve high risk because wide and extensive information system may not be effective in identifying related party, and it's not normal. Hence, we should apply professional skepticism, be alert. In the given case, you write and then you have to conclude. Hence, auditor should apply professional skepticism and perform audit procedure accordingly. Okay. Let's quickly proceed to the next question, which is question number 4. As usual, let's read the last part. In the context of establishing the strategy, explain the factors that the auditor should consider with respect to the preliminary engagement activities and the relevance gained from the other engagement performed by the entity by engagement partner and the nature, timing, and extent of resources. So, as you have heard, it is relating to the audit strategy. So, audit strategy depends upon 5 considerations of factors like characteristics of engagement, reporting requirements, like reporting objectives, team's effort, preliminary engagement activities, nature, timing, and extent of resources, etc. So here they are specifically asking about the preliminary engagement activities results and the nature, timing, and extent of resources. Okay. So our answer should be also very specific to that. Rather than being general, be specific to that. So let's read quickly the question. P&K Associate, the chartered accountants were appointed as the auditors of Gala. While establishing the strategy, partner carried out the preliminary activities relating to the client independence, etc. Further, partner also considered the information obtained during the GST compliance, internal control, etc. During the assignment, certain weaknesses were noticed relating to the fixed assets authorization. The engagement partner instructed the team to maintaining a questioning mind, skepticism, while gathering and evaluating evidence. Further, considering the risk of material misstatement is high in certain areas, they assigned those areas the additional time and resources for that detailed verification procedures. So this particular question is relating to chapter number 2. Okay, essay 300, audit strategy. Essay 300 is planning and audit of FS. Now, as I told you, this is very specifically audit strategy in that preliminary engagement activities and nature, timing, and extent of resources. Nature, timing, and extent of procedure is planned. Okay, now how to go about writing this particular answer. Okay, now you can put the heading establishing, okay, audit strategy. As per essay 300, planning and audit of FS, auditor shall establish, okay, overall audit strategy that establishes what? Scope, direction, and timing of audit, which helps in development of detailed audit plan. Among various factors, Okay, among various factors to be considered by auditor in forming audit strategy. I said na 5 factors. Audit strategy. One of the factors, preliminary engagement activity, the results of preliminary engagement activities, this particular one. Okay, so that you have to elaborate. In preliminary engagement strategy, okay, it depends upon the results of knowledge gained during the previous audit regarding the operating effectiveness of internal control, the risk identified, and actions taken. It also includes, okay, the areas where engagement team needs to be emphasized to emphasized to exercise professional skepticism in evaluating audit evidence. So these are the points. Preliminary engagement activity. This includes the previous audit, risk, internal control, and what action was taken. That you have to consider. And it also includes the areas in which the auditor will direct the team to maintain professional skepticism in evaluating the evidence. So that's the first part. In the second part, the nature, this one, nature, timing, and extent of resources. Okay, nature, timing, and extent of resources. Auditor shall assign specific or experienced team members. Experienced team members. Team members means engagement team members. Okay, for the risk identified areas and determine the timing and amount of resources so that to conduct the audit in a effective and efficient manner. So that is nature, timing, and extent of resources, where auditor shall assign experienced and specific team for the risk areas and also determine the timing and extent amount of resources so as to conduct the audit in an effective and efficient manner. So that which we have elaborated. Now don't forget to conclude. So this is the first para, the introduction para. Then this should be the second part where you wrote about this. This should be the third part where you address this. And now going to the last part, in the given case. It's a case study, right? Yeah, auditor of Gala PNK. So in the given case, okay, in the given case, the auditor PNK shall establish what? Shall establish audit strategy based on results of preliminary engagement activity and assign nature, timing, and extent of resources. Further, he shall direct the team to maintain professional skepticism to evaluate evidence. So this you will get from here. In the given case, that particular this point you will get from here. So that should be the last part. We're done. Come on, guys. Life is a race. Run, 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 run. Come on. Let's take it as a revision also. Explain the responsibility of engagement partner under SA 220 regarding quality control for an audit of FS with relation to the leadership and relevant ethical requirement. See guys, here as in other cases, no need of this particular para in the given case. Why? Because it is not case study, it's a direct question. Here they are asking you to explain, okay, the direct one, leadership and ethical requirements. In SA 220, you have 6 elements for quality control: acceptance of continuation of client relationship, assignment of engagement team, ethical requirements, leadership, monitoring, and engagement team performance, of which they are asking you to explain leadership and ethical requirements. So it's a direct question. So, since it's a direct question, I'll show you the answer directly, but I'll say how to present. So, put a heading, quality control. Then write, as per SA 220, quality control for an audit engagement partner shall be the leader, who shall comply with the quality control and ethical requirements. Moreover, SA 220 is modeled on the lines of SQC 1. So that's the intro paragraph. Okay. Then directly go to the second para about the leadership, which answer I will show you. Since a direct question from my material, I will show you. And the third paragraph, leadership up. Third paragraph about the ethical requirements, which I'll show you. So since it's a direct question, I'll show you, right? Okay. Yeah. This is regarding the leadership. First, you can put the heading, leadership responsibility, respect of quality of audit. Then write the importance of quality of audit. 4 points are there. First, leader shall comply with the professional standards, regulatory and legal standard. He shall also comply with the firm's quality control. He shall issue the appropriate reports, and he shall also ability to raise concerns of the team without fear of reprisals. Okay, so these 4 points you should clearly write. Okay, and this should be the second para regarding the leadership. Now going to the last para regarding the ethical requirements. Here, so the responsibility of engagement partner regarding the ethical requirement is identifying whether there is any threats to independence. Then safeguard may not be possible to eliminate the threat. Then he may be reporting by the engagement partner to the relevant persons within the firm whether the eliminating of the threat is possible. If not, withdraw. So whenever there is a ethical requirement, you know the usual steps. Whether there is threat, if so, eliminate, safeguard, if not, withdraw. So this should be the third para. So no need to write any conclusion over here. In the given case, not required. Just put an intro para, answer directly to the question. So this particular topic is from chapter 11. Okay. Now coming to the C part. Where is the C part? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, this is a C part. Yeah. State the circumstance in which reporting in financial statements containing corresponding figures, the auditor is required to refer to the corresponding figures in auditor's report. Explain the auditor's reporting responsibilities in each circumstances as per SA 710. That's also a direct question. So no need of in the given case para. Just write what they have asked in the question. Just put an intro para, write what they have asked in the question and conclude. Conclude directly. So as per SA 710, You know, right? There are two approaches, corresponding figures and comparative FS. Corresponding figures, auditor's opinion shall refer only to the current period, shall not refer to the prior period except in three cases. Yeah. Whereas in comparative FS, auditor's opinion shall refer to the each period. Okay. So here they have asked regarding the corresponding figures where he will refer to the previous year. See, watch out. When reporting containing corresponding, when the auditor is required to refer to the prior years, you have to explain. Okay. Now, this is also a direct question. So, like the last question, this also I will show you. Before that, I'll say the presentation. Okay. So, here also put a heading reporting on corresponding figures, right? As per Essay 710, comparative information, corresponding figures and comparative FS. Okay, auditor shall obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence whether comparative information is prepared in all material respects and he shall report. That is just the introductory para. Auditor shall obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence whether it has been prepared in all material respects and report. Now, when second para. When reporting on what? Corresponding figures. Like this, you have to read back the question in the exam holder. Corresponding figures. Okay. Auditor's opinion shall refer. Auditor's opinion shall refer only to current period. Shall not refer to corresponding except in following cases. Now, there are three cases. 1, 2, 3. You can write and stop. So, this should be your second and the final part. So, I'll just say direct answer. Na? So, the prior period audit report contains other than unmodified, meaning qualified adverse disclaimer, and the issue is unresolved in the current year. Second, auditor obtains sufficient appropriate evidence that opening balance contains material misstatement or prior period contains material misstatement which affects current period, or prior period FS are unaudited. These three cases you have to explain. So that's it. That's a very direct question. So this is with respect to chapter number 8, essay 710, audit report. Come on, just fifth and sixth question. With that, we have finished. Let's proceed, guys. Fifth one. That's a big question, huh? Oh, no. That's a very small question, actually. Only this much. Explain how essay 700 seeks to achieve balance between global uniformity in auditing reporting and to need to provide more useful information to the users of FS. In the context, explain how standards promote both consistency in reporting and flexibility to accommodate the jurisdiction of specific entity and circumstances. Also state the objective of auditor as per essay 700. So here also, like these two questions which we discussed, it's a direct question. So no need of in the given case or conclusion. Just write what they have asked and conclude. Now, which essay? As per essay 700, forming an opinion and reporting on FS, your objective is 2 points. You have to evaluate the audit evidence obtained, arrive at the conclusion, and form the opinion. Plus, you have to give the report, the written report. So that's your objective. So if you see, the opinion and the report which we give is in par with the global practices. Okay, so as to maintain comparability globally. So, how to present this particular answer? So, as usual, I'll write here. Yeah, you'll put a heading, reporting, reporting on FS. Okay, reporting on FS. They themselves gave SA 700 as per SA 700, forming an opinion and reporting on financial statements. Okay, it deals with auditor's responsibility to form an opinion and content of audit report. Okay, that should be the first part. In the next part, the essay. Okay, this essay requires auditor to form an opinion and to give the report which is in par with the global practices to enhance the confidence of users and compare the report globally. Compare the report so as to maintain uniformity. Okay, so as to have better understanding, for the users. So that should be second part. Then in the third part, you can write the objective of auditor. So that I'll just say, you have to elaborate and write. First is to form an opinion. Next is to give the opinion through the written report. So that you have to elaborate. The auditor shall evaluate the audit evidence and to arrive at the conclusion and form an opinion and to give the report, the written report. So no need to give the conclusion or in the given case not required. Just plain directly to the answer. Okay. So that was again dealing with chapter number 8, which is essay 700 audit report. Okay, let's proceed to the next one. Where is it? As the auditor of Sunshine Electronics Limited, explain the important points to be considered while carrying out test of controls for the effectiveness of internal control over sales as a part of procedures relating to trade receivables. So this is a very specific questions. Internal control with respect to sales as a part of the trade receivables. The Sunshine Electronics Limited manufactures, sells consumer electronic product on credits to the dealers across the country. During the audit, the auditor observed trade receivables had significantly increased. The company follows the credit approval process before making sales and establishes the process for recording sales. However, auditor intends to evaluate whether the internal controls are operating effectively. The partner also emphasizes the ineffective controls. See, from this itself, you will get many points. Okay, so be careful whenever you write the answer for such type of question. You can write it in points itself. No need to give a very specific introduction as per, not required. But be careful, it should be to the point. Okay, unnecessary point, please don't write. So let's start. So yeah, here they have asked with respect to the trade receivables sales. Okay, you can put the heading audit procedures, okay, relating to the trade receivables. Okay, then you can just start writing. Auditor shall verify the internal control with respect to sales to ascertain the trade receivables. Yeah, strike right. Yeah, effectiveness of sales. Yeah. Following are the points to be considered. Following are points to be considered. Now you can write it as 1, 2, 3, 4. You can write it as points. Okay. Now 1. They asked debtors with respect to sales. So debtors are collected on time. Collected, okay, on time. If not collected, okay, whether proper reminders have been sent, reminders have been sent, then debtors balances have been reviewed time to time. There should be a proper system for follow-up, proper system for follow-up should be there. Then only bona fide sales. Bona fide means proper. Bona fide sales should be recorded. All sales should be approved. Approved sales. Then sales should be properly recorded in the books. Why are we concentrating? Because they have asked sales, what are the controls? Okay. There should be proper segregation of duties. So that's the points. Now here it's a case study. So here, since it's a case study, you have to write in the given case and conclude. Okay, so this should be the first main part. Then in the second part, you write in the given case. Okay. The auditors of Sunshine Electronics. The auditor, okay, of Sunshine Electronic shall evaluate whether internal controls over the trade receivables are operating effectively, so that no fictitious sales, delayed collections, etc. That's it. That's the concluding paragraph. So the main points which will fetch you the marks are these points, okay? These points you have to write it in full sentence. Here I was just saying the bullet points. Okay. So this particular is again relating to chapter number 5, items in FS. Now coming to the next one. What? C. Discuss the responsibilities of auditor in relation to going concern under SA 570. Also comment whether the absence of any reference of material uncertainty relating to going concern in auditor's report can be regarded as a guarantee regarding future viabilities. No. Auditor cannot guarantee future viability. It's inherent limitations of audit. So, yeah. CA Ananya Sharma was appointed as the auditors of Vertex Textiles for the year. During the audit, the company reported recurring losses, significant cash flow constraint, difficulties in meeting the requirements. While evaluating the financial statement, management prepared them on going concern after assessing the future viability and funding. The committee sought clarification from auditor regarding their responsibility in relation to going concern assumption, whether unmodified opinion would guarantee that company regarding the operations in future. So here You have to discuss the responsibilities of auditor with respect to going concern. And one more point which you have to emphasize is whether your report is a guarantee regarding the future viability, which is not. So it's a very direct question, but it's a case study here. Okay. So watch out the answer. Okay. So yeah, how to start? Auditor's responsibility regarding what going concern. As per SA 570, going concern, auditor shall obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence regarding management use of going concern as appropriate. Then, material uncertainty, significant doubt on going concern based on events or condition, and auditor shall report. Now, it is the responsibility of whom management to assess the ability to continue as going concern and prepare and present FS as per going concern assumption. The auditor's responsibility is to, I'll just write the keyword, evaluate management use of going concern, management use of going concern, check the assessment of going concern, management assumptions of going concern. Auditor shall be alert regarding the events or conditions. Then he shall check whether future plan of action whether viable. However, as per inherent limitations of audit as per SA 200, he cannot guarantee regarding future. Cannot guarantee. This much bulletin I've written, all this you have to elaborate. Okay. So this will be the first para, this will be the second para. Now, third, in the given case, the auditor Ananya Sharma cannot guarantee regarding the going concern. That you have to write in the given case and conclude. Okay. So here two essay referenced are essay 570 as well as essay 200. Right. So this question was with respect to essay 570, which is chapter number 7. Chapter number 7. Yes. Essay 570, going concern. Wow. Coming to the last question. Where is it? Okay. Let's read. Don't give up. To give up, it takes only 1 second. But to stay on race, we are champions. As the auditors of Zeta Manufacturing Limited explain the audit procedure generally required to be undertaken while auditing share capital to obtain evidence regarding existence, completeness, and accuracy of share capital and other balances. Explain how these procedures would ensure changes in the capital structure correctly record and comply with the requirements of Companies Act and other regulatory requirements. So this is again items in FS, chapter 5, items regarding share capital. So in that they are asking share capital's existence, completeness, valuation, accuracy. Okay. So what question? Zeta Manufacturing expanded its operation, issuing additional equity shares. Company increased the authorized capital. Resolutions and fresh made. Few equity shares were allotted to the promoters. The company has filed with MCA. While planning, partner instructed the team to verify whether changes when capital were authorized. as per the SEBI and statutory requirements. See, from here itself, you'll get many points. So anyway, we'll write the answer. Okay. Audit procedures. They've asked audit procedures, right? Yeah. Audit procedures with respect to share capitals, existence, completeness, valuation. Existence, completeness, valuation. Okay. So following are the audit procedures which auditor has to perform regarding the completeness, existence, and valuation accuracy of share capital. First, okay, auditor should verify the share capital such as authorized capital, then issued capital, called paid up capital, and he has to tally this with the previous year. Current years with previous year. Second, in case no change in share capital, obtain, that's very important, obtain a written confirmation from whom? Is it management? No. Confirmation from company secretary, okay, that no changes during the current year. Then in case of change, if no change, the second point, you have to obtain a representation confirmation from secretary. In case of change, you have to check the forms filed. Okay. Whether the limits, check it with the MOA forms filed. Okay. Then, next what? Now you have to check the resolutions passed in the meetings. Then in case of fresh issues, allotment, subscription, money paid, bank account, etc., you should check. Then whether shares issued for consideration other than cash, that should be there. Then no share should be issued at discount. No shares at discount. There's a section. No share should be issued at discount. As per section 53. Then compliance of, if you check, they'll say SEBI regulations, Companies Act, SEBI regulations, then MCA, then stamp duty paid, Companies Act. So this should be the first part. Then since it's a case study, in the second part, you can just conclude. So yeah, the second part, hence, in the given case, the auditor of Zeta Limited should perform the following procedure to ascertain existence, completeness, and valuation of share capital. So that given case, just one sentence or two sentences, please write, since it's a case study. Yeah. So that's from chapter 5. Come on, next question. Where is it? Examine whether request made by management is justified. Discuss the circumstance under which request from an entity to change the terms of audit engagement may be considered reasonable and situation where such may not be acceptable. This is with respect to chapter number 11, essay 210. So let's read. CA Neha Arora was appointed as the auditor of Stellar Healthcare Limited During the course of audit, she found substantial portion of company's trade receivables were outstanding for the long period. Management was unable to provide direct confirmation from several major customers, nor it could furnish alternative audit evidence. On being informed the lack of sufficient appropriate audit evidence resulted in modified audit opinion, management requested CA Aurora to convert into a review engagement, stating review would be more suitable. See, since she asked some evidence, they are saying it is incomplete, so they are asking to change audit to review. Do you think this revision of terms is okay? No, it is unreasonable. So here they have asked circumstances when you have to change, when you can revise the terms, what are the circumstances which is reasonable and not reasonable. Okay, so how to present in this case? So you can give a heading, revision in terms of engagement. Okay, terms of engagement. As per essay 210, agreeing on terms of audit engagement. Okay. Okay. Auditor shall agree the terms with the management and TCWG as appropriate before accepting the audit. Before accepting the audit. Okay. This should be the intro part. Next. In the second part, when the revision is reasonable, circumstances, they have asked three cases. There are three cases. Then you can write revision in terms. Okay. Can arise due to 1. Changes in circumstances that affects the need for the service. Second, there is a misunderstanding regarding the auditor or restriction on the scope. These are the cases where there may be a revision in the terms. In these cases, if reasonable justification, auditor shall revise the terms. However, if it is unreasonable, such as management is not providing information or limiting the auditor, then auditor may withdraw. So that's the next main part. Now, third, in the given case, see, where is it? Here. That you have to write in the given case. He was not able to obtain evidence, so the management asked to change it to review engagement, which is unreasonable. So, in the given case, you have to write that you'll write. Okay. In the given case, that you will write. Okay. Hence, the change is not the change in terms not justified. Therefore, auditor shall not agree to revise. So that should be the concluding para. Wow, just two more questions. right? Let's proceed. This is chapter 11. I think I've already told you. Okay, second last question, guys. In the light of above, explain how audit findings, deficiencies in an automated environment should be assessed and reported. Automated environment. So this is chapter number 3, automated environment. So Messrs. TKR Associate Chartered Accountants were conducting the audit of Digital Solutions, a company operating in a highly automated environment. During the audit, auditors tested various IT control relating to the user access management, change management, automated processing system generated. While performing audit procedure, audit team identified certain exceptions like unauthorized access, former employees' absence, etc. The engagement partner discussed these findings with the team. The partner further stated that identified deficiencies may require communication with the management. He advised the team to assess each individually and collectively. So there are a lot of deficiencies. So how the findings of control deficiencies in automated environment should be assessed and reported. So yes, I know many students are like, ma'am, do we need to study automated environment? See, watch out the answer. The answer is very simple. It's more related to internal control deficiencies. Okay. So wait. Now you can write audit findings and control deficiencies in automated environment. Okay. Now start. So they have asked how to report the audit finding regarding control deficiencies in the automated environment. So yeah, it's chapter number 5, automated environment and also internal control. So at the end of audit, end means conclusion of audit. Okay, at the end of audit, the findings on IT environment and controls, IT controls has to be reported, has to be reported to management, TCWG, board of directors, audit committee, etc. Following are the points. Following are the points. First, what are the weakness in we are talking about fully IT controls. IT controls, what are the weakness in IT controls? How it will impact the audit? Okay. Now, these controls has to be reported to the management. Now, if it is significant deficiencies, okay, it has to be reported to TCWG. We learn in essay 265 also. Now you have to write a deficiency in internal control. Now linking to chapter 7, a deficiencies in internal control mean internal control did not detect, prevent or correct frauds or errors, or an internal control is designed in such a way that it is unable to detect, prevent or correct misstatements on a timely basis. That definition of internal control you will write. So in the first part, you will write this. At the end of the audit, the finding of IT controls has to be reported, like what is the weakness, what is the impact. It should be reported to management if significant TCWG. Then you will explain what is the deficiencies in control. There are two deficiencies, okay? What are the two deficiencies? One, control is there but not operating effective, control is missing. Full sentence you have to write with full para. Then you'll write in the given case. Okay. In the given case, what has happened? That case study you have to write in the given case while performing audit procedure. That case you have to write. Hence, auditor shall evaluate the internal control individually and collectively using auditor's professional judgment and report the deficiencies to management TCWG. See, even though it appears to be chapter number 3, it's chapter number 7, essay 265 related. That's it. Okay, one more question, da. In the light of above facts, explain the factors that affects form and content of auditor's documentation. Wow. Infrastructure Limited, the company has multiple manufacturing units, several ongoing projects. During the audit, the team performed various procedures, obtained evidence. The engagement partner instructed the team to maintain comprehensive working papers. Certain exceptions identified. The team was also specialized audit software. Actually, from this, you will get all the points. See, they have asked what are the factors in determining the form, content, and extent of documentation. There are 7 factors, guys. So I'll say, put the heading factors in affecting audit documentation. As per SA 230, audit documentation is a record of audit procedures, audit evidence, and audit conclusions. Following are the factors. First, size and complexity of entity. Second, nature of audit procedures performed. Third, significance of evidences obtained, audit evidence. Then, risk identified. Then, exceptions identified. Need to document. One more factor, na? Audit tools, document, and methods used, like cat tools and methods used. Okay, so these points you should write. Then, since it's a case study, you have to write in the given case. In the given case, you can write this para and conclude. So guys, with that, we are coming to the end of MTP 1 for the September 26 attempt. So guys, as you have seen, I've not just simply run through. I can easily show you the answer and go, but I've sat with you from the first question till the last question. I've been saying what to do, how to think. See, I'm sincerely wishing that this session was helpful in some way or the other. My intention was not just to run or highlight some PDF and go, but to sit with you to make you think how to present, what to write, how to identify the answers, especially the descriptive part. Okay. So let me know in the comment box how it is. And I wish you all the very best. Keep going. Stay blessed.